Brandao here with the very first episode of Wednesday Wisdom. Before we kick it off, I'd like to go back and explain how we got here today. Well, 101 weeks ago, I got an idea of starting a brand new podcast called What's Your Why Wednesday. The concept behind this was me interviewing real estate and mortgage professionals and having them share their why with all to hear. Now, the reason why we did this is because it was during the pandemic when everyone was extremely busy. They were working tirelessly, so many hours, and they were overwhelmed. And I thought it might be a good moment in time to have people pause and stop and realize why they do what they do. Most of them, it had to do with their family. It had to do with their legacy. It had to do with making a difference in their communities. And I had all of them share a certain particular moment when they realized the monumental difference that they have made in the world by the work that they do. I've had people cry. I had people laugh. I had people take a moment of pause and say, you know what? I needed to be in that moment and remembering how I got here. So it was a very special time, but now things have changed and we're in a whole new market. So I thought to myself, after those 100 weeks and me having the final episode of sharing my why last week, I needed to start something new. And then it was, okay, so what do we do with this new chapter that we're going to start on a Wednesday? And I've had a lot of people over the course of the last few years reach out to me about Motivational Monday. I'd also like to explain how that got started. Back in 2019, I was in my year of yes, which ties to my book, Say Yes Every Day. I was in a moment where I said yes to practically everything in order to get myself out of my comfort zone. At that time, I didn't have much of a social media presence, and I really wasn't sure what I should be posting. So I got an idea that if I did something where I tied the day of the week to it, such as Motivational Monday, I would be held accountable because I couldn't skip doing it because everyone would be looking on that particular day. Well, that took off. And here we are, all these years later. I am still recording Motivational Monday, and I've never missed a week. It didn't matter if there was a blizzard outside, a hurricane, or a global pandemic. I always tried to record them outside. I think there's been a couple inside when it was really, really cold in the winter or the weather was very terrible. But for the most part, I try to do them outside. That's kind of my signature, that I try to look for beautiful places to film them. But now here we are on Wednesday Wisdom. What are we going to do? My thought is take Motivational Monday and my little snippet topics and expand on them. Give you a little bit of information that is a little more expanded and more of a teaching and a lesson so that we can grow together. So this week, my Motivational Monday was about a few things. The first thing it was about is we just wrapped up the EPM TAG event, and TAG stands for The American Gift. We had lots of team members and clients and partners and vendors and industry leaders come to Hollywood, Florida for a few days for us to tell our stories. Those stories are, difficulties that we experienced, how we overcame them, how we got to where we are today, the struggle of making it through the crazy cycles of the mortgage industry. And we came together to share, to grow, to connect, to learn. So that was the first part. It was about relationships. And we all know that we're in a digital world. Right now, you are watching a video. And sure, when I go and I see people and hug them, I'm real. We are all real individuals with a big heart and a big soul that we want to share. So the first thing is those relationships. Every single person matters. Every single person is special. And the tiniest of details is where the magic comes in. I was sitting with a client just the other day at the conference, and we were speaking about relationships. And he shared a story that he works with a vendor that is actually the software for his company. And he got to know the lady that's in charge of the help desk. And one time he was having a conversation and they were joking about, what's the favorite thing that they like to drink because they happen to be, drinking something during a meeting. And the woman said, well, actually, my favorite thing to drink is cranberry ginger ale. I think it was cranberry. It was something that you can only get in the winter. Okay. Well, he remembered that. And he went out and found a way to send that to her in a time where she can't get that in the city in which she lives. That little moment of remembering what she liked and him taking the time to go and find it and ship it and send it. He didn't do it to get better service, but what do you think happened? It's amazing how every time that he calls needing some assistance, his call is absolutely prioritized, not because she's trying to make other people wait. It's just like a reciprocity. It's giving back to someone that treated you special. And here's the thing I want you to remember the most. All of us as human beings, we just want to be seen. Today, I came back in the airport. And when I arrived, it was very, very, very busy. My goodness, it was probably the busiest I have seen an airport in a long time. I guess maybe the time of the day or something. It was just so busy. And as I stood there, I had just gotten off a 5-hour flight. And I was kind of standing back just at baggage claim, waiting for our bags to be delivered. And as I stood there, I watched people almost going through other people. They didn't see them. They were so in a fog of trying to figure out where do they go, or where are their bags, or where do I go get the rental car, or what time can I check in at the hotel. And everybody's on their phones and everybody's just connected because they came off the flight, and all of a sudden now they have a connection, so they're going and responding to emails and phone calls and text messages and everything else. And everybody is in this daze of digital that they don't even see somebody right there. I am blessed to share that I now see people. I took notice of the little baby in the stroller next to me. I smiled at her. I gave her a wave. I said hello. I noticed the little dog that was upset that he was inside the carrier and he wanted to get out. I noticed the Marine that was waiting for his bags. He was actually very much in a hurry. He was taking his duffel bags and throwing them against the side. Maybe he was in a rush. He had to get somewhere. But as I stood there and I watched others, all I could think about is, how do I show them that I see them? Because at the end of the day, we all want to be seen and heard and recognized, not just when everything is perfect. Maybe it's when we're feeling a little stressed, we're in a strange airport, we're not sure where to go. Having that kind word, and when someone is struggling, maybe pointing them to the right direction, or asking them if they need help as an older woman is trying to get her bag off of the carousel and she's struggling. Because a lot of people don't even see her. See people. Watch and see how you can help them. Whether it's in personal, whether it's in your business, you just see them, you hear them, you pay attention. It goes a long way. And my Motivational Monday also spoke about fun. So many times when we're stressed out, when all of that craziness is happening, having a moment of laughing at yourself, not taking yourself so seriously, realizing that, oh, actually, I have a story about that. So as I'm getting off the plane, again, everybody is practically running towards the baggage claim. Now, we all know the bags aren't going to come out instantly. So this whole running towards it, relax. It's okay. Take your time. But as everyone was rushing, I was going to stop at the restroom because I was just on a 5-hour flight. And as I'm about to go, there's a woman, a young girl with a dog. And the dog literally stops right in front of the restroom and goes to the bathroom on the floor. So as I think about this, I chuckled to myself and I was like, well, the dog had to go. The dog probably was on a very long flight. The dog had to relieve himself. Other people were freaked out. They were so upset about the dog doing it right on the floor right there. And I thought to myself, it's an animal. It's an animal that was probably, held on someone's lap for many, many hours, and he couldn't hold it anymore. He probably got the scent of the restroom and thought this is a proper place to go. So let us not take things so seriously, because at the end of the day, we're all just an animal trying to get through life. And when you're stressed out, step away from the computer, step away from your phone, go for a walk in the park, go outside and take a deep breath and feel the air. If it's too cold, pet your dog, pet your cat, go look at your children, and don't do anything. Just stand there and look at them. Look at the beauty of what you created. Your children are an image of you. That is the greatest gift we can ever be given. So throw a ball, take a moment, have some fun. Let's not take ourselves so seriously and realize that stress will always come around. Things are always going to be complicated. It doesn't matter how old you are, who you are, what's going on. It's just life. Let it go. Wishing you a wonderful Wednesday. These are my wisdom notes for this week. Stay tuned. As every week, I'm sure this is going to evolve. I appreciate you listening, and please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. I love making connections. I love hearing what you think. I would love to hear your ideas. Let's do this together. Remember, together, we can have greatness. All the best, everyone. Mwah.